What is going on, Devils fans? And happy Memorial Day to all of you checking this out. Here are all my friends in the United States. And what is going on? It is always your host, your best friend, your confidant, your number one source, Neil Villapiano. And welcome to another edition of the Devil's State of Mind podcast, right here on the Hockey Podcast Network, as well as Sports Wire Radio, the best place to get everything you need to know about your recent medalists at the World Championship, New Jersey Devils. And as always, Devils fans, I hope you're having a fantastic day and fantastic Memorial Day, wherever you're checking out this podcast episode. And as always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to either check this episode out here on YouTube or also wherever you listen to podcasts. You guys know, as always, that I greatly appreciate all the support with every episode and everything going on, and also interacting with the podcast on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram. Also, by the way, make sure to go over to my TikTok, Neil.Villapiano, which if you look to your bottom left of your screen, you'll see my full name. If you just write Neil.Villapiano, you'll find my TikTok. I post all the clips from podcast episodes over on there. So make sure you guys go check that out as well. And really quickly, shout out to both of our sponsors down below. Of course, DraftKings Sportsbook. And again, guys, with the Stanley Cup Finals is very close to getting underway. Same thing with the NBA Finals, Major League Baseball going on. So much action to get in on, and DraftKings Sportsbook is your number one place to get in on these huge cash prizes. And all you got to do is sign up with DraftKings Sportsbook by using our promo code THPN. You bet $5. You get $200 instantly in risk-free bets. I promise you guys, it's an offer that you do not want to miss out on. So again, go to DraftKings Sportsbook, use our promo code THPN. You bet $5, you get $200 instantly in risk-free bets. It's that simple. And also, as always, shout out to our sponsors at Tom's River Brewing. And funny enough, you guys could see it here on YouTube. I got myself a can of the Raise Hell Lager that Tom's River Brewing made for the Stanley Cup playoffs. It is absolutely fantastic. I'll actually take a sip of it right now. That's really good. They also have the famous Stick Toss as well, their official beer sponsor of the Devil's State of Mind podcast. And make sure you guys, if you're in the area, go check out Tom's River Brewing. Visit them in person. Check out the brewery. Tell them Neil Villapiano from Devil's State of Mind sent you and recommended them to you. And also, if you want to get your case, you could always go to the brewery to get some Stick Toss or some Raise Hell, or you could check out on their website wherever they sell either one of those. I highly recommend it. It is the perfect beer for the Devils fans like yourself and Devils fans that you know. So shout out to Tom's River Brewing as always. And again, shout out to both of our sponsors here on the Devil's State of Mind podcast. So this one will be kind of quick for you guys. Not a ton to really talk about other than we are going to quickly recap what happened in both the bronze and gold medal games of the 2025 IIHF Men's World Championships. And also, we are reportedly getting a new assistant coach. I also wrote an article about our new assistant coach over on Pucks and Pitchforks. I will leave a link here on YouTube for you guys to go check it out. And also, again, just simply go to Pucks and Pitchforks and you will find the article as well. But we will get into more detail about that in just a little bit. So with all that out of the way, we have a bunch to get to here on the Devil's State of Mind podcast. So let's not waste any more time and get rolling. And we will get rolling and drop the puck with starting right off with recapping both the bronze and medals games of the IIHF World Championships. We'll start with the bronze medal game that happened in the morning on Sunday as Sweden blew out, or I guess fair enough, blowout, Denmark 6-2 to capture the bronze medal on home ice after they were blown out by the United States in the semifinal game. So Sweden still ends up medaling in this year's World Championships. Unfortunately, they were not successful in taking home the gold in their own home country. And obviously the Devils had Jacob Markstrom representing them for Team Sweden in this tournament. Unfortunately, he did not get the start in the bronze medal game for Sweden, but he still ended up with a pretty solid tournament overall, posting a 4-2-0 record, a 2.14 goals against average, and an unfortunate .894 save percentage, which a bunch of it has to do with the fact that he had a really, really bad game in the semifinals against the United States, in which he gave up 4 goals before being pulled at the start of the third period of that game. So obviously for Markstrom, not the way you wanted to finish the tournament, but hopefully it's something that, again, he can build upon going into next season. And especially with the Olympics coming around next year and the fact that Markstrom didn't get an opportunity to play for Sweden at the Four Nations face-off, gives him that much more motivation to get ready for the 2026 Olympics in Milan, Italy. So lots to work on, but for Jacob Markstrom, his full hockey season, both with the Devils and Sweden, he is officially done and now can enter into off-season mode. So congratulations nonetheless to Jacob Markstrom and Team Sweden for capturing the bronze medal at the World Championships. And again, still to just medal, especially in your own home country, I think is still a tremendous accomplishment, regardless of the fact that you fell just a bit short of reaching that gold medal. And speaking of that gold medal game, we had a classic one between Switzerland and the United States. Both teams definitely and rightfully deserved to be in this gold medal game. They were both really, really solid throughout the entire tournament. And when it was all said and done, thanks to Tage Thompson of the Buffalo Sabres scoring in overtime, the United States came away with a awesome 1-0 win in overtime to capture the gold medal. It is the United States' first gold medal in 92 years. That is crazy when you think about it. And there were so many storylines going into this final. Again, 92 years since the last time the United States won a gold medal at the Men's World Championships. And for Switzerland, looking for their first gold medal ever in their history as a hockey country. And it was a great game, back and forth. Both teams had chances. The Swiss actually shut out the United States earlier in this tournament. So clearly the United States had some revenge in their mind, but you got to give Switzerland a lot of credit that they played as strong of a game as they could. Unfortunately, they fall just short of reaching their ultimate prize. Now, what really stood out to me for Switzerland, and we'll get to the United States in just a minute, is the fact that they have proven over the last couple of years, and especially in this tournament, that this is a hockey country on the rise. I'm very, very excited to see them in next year's Olympics. I think that they have the ability to do some really, really positive damage in that tournament. And obviously, from a Devils perspective, you have several guys who played in this tournament that will most likely be on that Olympic team going into next year, barring, knock on wood, injuries and things like that. So even though it sucks for Switzerland, they weren't able to get it done, still want to give them congratulations on not winning, but earning the silver medal at this year's World Championships. They had a phenomenal run, and I think the best is yet to come for that country. I'm really excited to see what they can do in the Olympics. It's certainly moving forward. That is a growing hockey country that is definitely on the rise, as I mentioned before. And really quickly, just wanted to also shout out Swiss netminder Leonardo Giannoni, who was the main goaltender for the Swiss in this tournament. He was selected as the 2025 IIHF Men's World Hockey Championship MVP. He was also named goaltender of the tournament. He posted 4 shutouts in this tournament. He is now the 3rd Swiss player to be named MVP and the first goaltender of this tournament, after defenseman Roman Josi got the honor back in 2013, and then Kevin Fiala of the Los Angeles Kings earned it last year. So again, that just proves that Swiss is becoming that much more of a very, very talented hockey country. And so, yeah, just giving a lot of credit to them on a phenomenal year. And lastly here, I got to talk about our boys from New Jersey who competed in this tournament. Nico Hischier, unfortunately, as we mentioned before, did get injured earlier in this tournament. Fortunately, it's nothing serious. It was precautionary. He's going to be perfectly fine for training camp next year, but he finishes the tournament with 2 goals and 3 points in the games that he played. Timo Meyer, I thought, had a really strong tournament and finishes his whole hockey season on a high note with 3 goals and 10 points. I think he proved a lot in this tournament that he can be a massive play driver. And when he's given his own line, I think that he can really be a dominant power forward. And I would like to see that going into next year, that he's in control of one of those top 6 lines that he's going to be a part of. And for Jonas Siegenthaler, again, I also felt that he had a strong tournament in his own right. Had a goal, had 3 assists for 4 points, really solid on the back end. It's unfortunate that he was on the ice for the game-winning goal in that gold medal game, but nonetheless, I thought he was really good defensively. And for him to come back from that injury that he sustained to then finishing, playing in the playoffs for the Devils, and then helping Switzerland at least get the silver medal at this year's World Championship tournament, I think is a really, really strong way to end what was overall a pretty solid year for Siegenthaler, but one that I'm sure he would have liked to have improved on, especially playing for the Devils. But again, something to build on going into next season. So that is the Devils representatives and their recaps of this World Championship. So the only Devils player that didn't earn a medal was Lenny Haminaho playing for Finland. But nonetheless, the guys that are on the team currently that played in the World Championships all get a medal in one way or another. But finally, I'll just finish this off by congratulating the boys from here in the good old US of A for finally ending that 92-year drought and bringing back a gold medal from the World Championships to the United States. And Jeremy Swayman, the goaltender, starting goaltender for the U.S. and also goaltender for the Boston Bruins, brought up a really good point in saying that we wanted to show in this tournament, we being the United States, that we are a hockey power that is ready to compete at the highest level, and that we want to compete for gold medals at not just the World Championships, but again in the World Juniors and certainly in the Olympics. And I think it just proves the USA is really, really ready to take that next major step. We know what happened losing in the gold medal game of the Four Nations face-off. And I think that just gives the United States that much more motivation getting ready for next year's Olympics. So guys, this upcoming Olympics is going to be fan-freaking-tastic, especially with NHL players being involved. I can't tell you how excited I am. We got a lot of time before that, and we got a bunch of the NHL season next year to get to before we even start talking more deeply about the Olympics. But this World Championships just proved to me how exciting, how truly, truly exciting it's going to be for the NHL and its involvement in next year's Olympics. And again, I can't wait to get going with that. But congratulations to everybody that earned a gold medal for the U.S. Jacob Markstrom obviously earning a bronze, and our three Swiss lads earning a silver medal as they all end their seasons on a solid high note, one way or the other. So that is our World Championships recap for all of you. And lastly here, just wanted to bring up some news that hasn't been made official yet, but I would imagine sometime soon that the Devils will officially make it official. But this happened actually last week, last Wednesday to be exact, as originally reported by Dave Pagnotta of the Fourth Period. He said that New Jersey is hiring former Philadelphia Flyers associate coach Brad Shaw as an assistant under Sheldon Keefe. And as you can see here, if you're here on YouTube, I wrote an article talking about and detailing more why I think Brad Shaw is an absolute home run hire for this New Jersey Devils team. And I'll tell you why here. And I want you guys to understand it more if you haven't yet checked out the article, which again, highly recommend that you go do that after you check out this episode. So one thing is for certain, Brad Shaw is considered to be one of the top tier assistants right now in the National Hockey League. And he's also very, very well respected amongst his peers and former players. And to give you a little background, Brad Shaw worked under John Tortorella, both in Columbus and then in Philadelphia, and then eventually took over as the interim head coach of the Flyers after John Tortorella was let go. He has a reputation for developing defensemen. He is a defensive coach and generating a lot of success on the back end as a whole. His teams have been very, very strong defensively. The biggest thing that stands out is his really, really good track record with guiding young defensemen to take the next step in their development. The two guys that stand out the most are Jamie Drysdale last year in Philadelphia, but the biggest one is Zach Werenski, who right now has a chance to win the Norris Trophy this year for the league's best defenseman. Just won a gold medal for Team USA in the World Championships. And someone actually said, I couldn't find specifically where it came from, but I remember someone saying that a lot of people give Bradshaw a huge amount of credit for taking Werenski when he was a young defenseman, developing him into the player and reaching not only at his potential, but beyond his potential to become the top flight defenseman that he is. So when you look at that, he comes in with Bradshaw comes in with a huge, huge track record of developing defensemen. It's certainly young defensemen, and the Devils have a plethora of that with Luke Hughes, Shimo Nemec, Seamus Casey, Anton Zelayev, and again with the guys that we already have in the fold with Dougie Hamilton, Brendan Dillon, Jonas Siegenthaler, Jonathan Kovacevic, Brett Pesce, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The point I'm trying to make is this. As much as it was unfortunate to see Ryan McGill get let go after having another strong year with that defense, it's very obvious that Sheldon Keefe wanted to bring in his own guys. And I understand that completely, especially when you're the head coach, you want to have your guys that you're rocking with. I don't believe that Keefe and Brad Shaw have any sort of history in terms of working together in the past from what I read, but it seems to me that Sheldon Keefe is very high on Shaw, and now he gets an opportunity, just goes right up the New Jersey Turnpike, ends up in Newark, and gets to be alongside Sheldon Keefe behind the bench. I also saw that Brad Shaw was apparently a finalist for the head coaching job for the Flyers, and he was reportedly very upset that he was passed over for Rick Tocchet. Bradshaw has not had the opportunity to be an full-time NHL head coach yet in his career, and I'm sure he's going to look to potentially continue to boost his resume and help the New Jersey Devils at least for this upcoming year, maybe further along than that, who knows. But nonetheless, I am really excited about this hire. I think that this is the exact perfect replacement for Ryan McGill. And I think that Bradshaw is going to really, really help this defense become that much better. I think that we are getting to a position from a coaching standpoint of having a much more balanced team. I think you look at Sheldon Keefe, he's an offensive kind of guy. I think that's going to be his main focus. And he gives a veteran coach like Brad Shaw, who has a ton of experience with defensemen and especially young defensemen, and allows him to do what needs to be done. So I really, really, really love this hire, and I'm excited to see what Brad Shaw can do for this Devils defensive core moving forward. So that's really why I feel so passionate about this and why I strongly feel this way. It'll be interesting to see if the Devils hire another assistant coach, because again, they let go of Chris Taylor as well. But that remains to be seen. And again, the Devils have not officially announced the hiring yet. Maybe they're waiting for another hire. Maybe they're not. Who knows? Nonetheless, the Devils have reportedly, I'll just keep using that word, unless, again, in case something changes, reportedly have hired Brad Shaw as a new assistant coach under Sheldon Keefe on the Devils coaching staff. So it's already the beginning of what should be a very different New Jersey Devils team. It's a huge offseason, and it's starting right now with filling out the coaching staff and then focusing on, getting this team better from a player perspective. We got the draft coming up. We have free agency right around the corner here in a little over a month. So there's a lot to do between now and really the start of free agency. And we're going to be on top of it as much as possible. And on that note, that's going to do it for me on this edition of the Devil's State of Mind podcast. As always, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Really do appreciate it. If you want to check out more of the Devil's State of Mind podcast, make sure to follow us on social media, Facebook at Devil's State of Mind, Instagram as well at Devil's State of Mind, and also over on Twitter at Devil's State. And you can check out all those social medias. I keep it as up to date as I possibly can. And again, make sure to go check out and follow my TikTok as well, Neil.Villapiano, to check out clips and all bunch of other hockey stuff as well on there. Would greatly, greatly appreciate it. But again, thank you all so very much for hanging out with me on this edition of the Devil's State of Mind podcast. And we will see you in the next episode. Everybody, continue to be the awesome people that you are. And as I always say at the end of every episode, Let's go, Devils.